Oh.
Oh, I
Oh.
see.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Those socks are
a
red.
sport girly.
A Boston girly. You know what's so funny about this too?
Casey's
bought
ball
this-
cap is what she's talking about. She's wearing a ball cap.
I'm wearing a Boston Red Sox hat, and did I buy it in Boston? Absolutely not. Because I saw one and it was a $44. So I said,
Yeah.
no. I will go on Amazon when I get home and buy the exact same hat.
Oh my God.
How much was that
And it
one?
arrived today. Beautiful.
How much was the one from Amazon?
30. Because it's like
Mm.
it's the whatever brand, that's
Yeah, the 47 brand.
47. That's her.
I know it. Know her well.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, girlies.
Why does this feel so short? The bill.
I don't know. I think that's just the way they roll.
Okay.
What I really want that brand to do is to make like how they do the New York Yankees hats with like the all like monochrome, like the tans, the neutrals. I want them to do that with every team.
Yeah.
But you win some, you lose some. But yeah, we are here. Apparently, Adam told me I was supposed to talk about the Emmys, or he just thinks I'm going to talk about the Emmys today.
We think you probably will.
I can give a brief recap.
Brief recap, maybe Luke.
For the girl that doesn't watch TV, but she does watch the Emmys.
She watches all of the
I am
awards.
famously the award shows.
She watches all the award shows.
I have no opinions
even
on.
The Grammys.
I watch all of the award shows, even the MTV,
even the
Music
VMAs.
Movie Awards. Yeah, was that the VMAs or was that the MTV Video Awards?
It was the VMAs.
Well, the VMAs just happened.
Okay, I did watch those. That made me feel. That made me feel awful.
Old.
The funny. Oh.
That made her feel a certain way.
It made me feel. That's
okay. You're back.
Gone. That's
you're
what
back.
I was gonna say. It made me feel.
Oh, there she is.
Go. Okay, now you're back.
Now you're back.
Okay.
It made you feel.
It made me feel exactly that way. Gone. Because the only point I knew what was happening was when Busta Rhymes and LL Cool J were there.
Yeah.
So everybody else, I was like, I am sorry to say, I did not like a K-pop person.
You didn't like Lisa. She's it was a little too rough.
Nope. She was horribly lip syncing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it was no. I don't.
Oh,
mind.
like she wasn't like doing it.
I have
She was not doing it well.
Britney Spears in concert multiple times. I respect good lip syncing when you're putting on a good performance. Her lip syncing, it may have been the TV being off, but that was the entire performance. I was like, this is something. And I was like, I don't know who this is. And that was a common theme throughout the night. I don't know who this is. Who are these presenters? Don't know.
I've never seen this man in my life.
I've never seen this man in my
Well,
life.
then I bet you love the Emmys because you knew every single person.
I know
that...
all these girlies at the Emmys. So it's also interesting because we just had the Emmys, like in January? So we're back to normal. But Dan and Eugene Levy hosted.
Yes, they did.
So cute. They did such a good job. I love them so much. What still to this day pisses me off is that they put the bear in the comedy category.
You and the rest of
you in the world.
I know, but I've been
but
as
it's
somebody
funny.
But it's not, right?
No, season 3, I was laughing a lot. So I love his cousins. I love the cousins. The cousins have been such a great addition to the show. Maddie Matheson, he gets a cousin, another cousin in, and they're both working at the restaurant. And then at one point, John Cena, he guest stars as a cousin, and it is so good in season 3.
But it's just like, it makes me sad that Fox, or is it FX, whoever,
FX
submits that, like knowing damn well they're in a category with like Abbott Elementary. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know. But it did not win Best Comedy Show.
Did not. Hacks won.
Hacks won.
Hacks. Miss Hacks.
And so
Miss Einbinder and Miss Smart.
Yes. And so Jean won also Best Actress, which that's what, because I was like, God, is the bear gonna sweep? And then Jean won, and I was like, okay, that's better.
They were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good little balance.
Casey, are you attracted to Maddie Matheson?
What do you think?
I'll
give you one guess.
I'm gonna pull this man up and I'm gonna tell you. What is his name? Matty Matheson TV show. Oh, yeah, she is.
I just didn't know if that was I couldn't tell if it was like too rough and tough for you.
No, is
he's
he funny?
He's like a potty mouth, isn't he?
Is he?
I don't know. I mean, because like I know him from whenever he did like a TV show about cooking, and he was just like,
is he funny?
Big guy with tattoos, and he's funny. He's so funny on the show.
He's so my boyfriend is so funny, guys.
Oh man. But yeah, that's my Emmy minute.
What's happening? I stopped my upload too.
Oh,
yeah, y'all are so glitchy.
Yeah, I don't know what's
today.
I don't know what's going on.
So Casey went to Boston. Quite the adventure.
And you know what? I think part of it's just so interesting to think about, because like I haven't had like a solo trip like that in a while. Because I am just at 2 years with Joe, and I am not allowed to leave the house without his permission. So I just kidding. But I hadn't done a solo adventure, in a while. And so I was very excited to go. And people are like, "Why are you going?" I'm like, "Because I didn't take any PTO over the summer, because I was trying to enjoy my last freedom of working remotely." And so then I was completely, my soul had been sucked out of my body, and I needed 2 days off work. So I went to Boston, and I've never been to Boston. And dare
Where'd
I
you fly?
say,
Southwest?
JetBlue, baby.
Yes, JetBlue. We all flew here on JetBlue. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Nonstop. But on the way out, I don't get this logic, but I have paid for I've paid for my seat, and I'm in row 12, the aisle, and I am one of I'm like the second to last group to board. So my luggage was 4 rows behind me. And I stressed the entire trip. I was like, these people are going to be so fucking rude. Yes, Miranda.
Yes, Miranda.
This is when you guys are like, why does Miranda like to board the plane so early?
Get the bags on.
Because I need a spot for my overhead bag. Because I will always have an overhead bag. Thank you. That's all.
And and that's what we get with like anyone that doesn't make you pay for a carry-on. Everyone has got a carry-on.
Stay away.
Take her out.
Because I like to board the plane when my seat is called.
No, I do too. I love to. I would like to go and be like, hey, I need extra time. You know what? I'm disabled. Get me on there first.
Yeah. That's why I love traveling with Jane. I was like, oh, bitch, we're getting on first. We're getting on. She cannot walk. We're going. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyways, great thing about JetBlue, loved watching movies. I watched a scary movie called Imaginary. Miranda would hate it. It's about a haunted bear. It was great. It's so stupid. But anyways, but when the plane lands, I stand up and no one has crowded the aisles yet. And I was just like, hey, can I get to 16? Because like 1 or 2 people had stood up. I was like, could anyone grab that bag up on top of 16, the purple one? And they just grabbed it for me and handed it to me, and I didn't have to worry.
That famous Boston kindness.
Yes.
I was like, these are all Texans. These are all Texans because
not a single mass hole.
No mass holes.
Wow.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm not taking an Uber from the airport. That's money, honey.
You're taking that free silver line, honey.
I'm taking the free silver line.
Yes.
And
Quincy.
if I wasn't the last person that squeezed onto that damn silver line. So the whole time I'm holding on. I'm holding on because it's packed. And I'm like right at like the line. I'm like right here. I'm right at like the line where you can't cross in front of the bus driver or whatever. Like I'm right there. I'm gripping it. I can't text or anything because I am holding on for dear life. And my beautiful Quince carry-on hard pack. She's got the wheels of a virgin. She's fresh. She's just rolling all over because she is a beautiful bag.
We love
she
her.
Rolls beautifully.
Listeners, this is a dupe website. Is it Quince? Is it Quince?
It's spelled like Quince, but they call
Quince. It is a dupe website. Their luggage is all away dupes. You can get a carry-on for like $129. And they have at least a year return policy. 1 year. They also do like anything that you can think of, they have a dupe for it. The who does the bamboo sheets?
Brooklyn?
No, not Brooklyn, and the other one. Cozy Earth. They have dupes for the Cozy Earth linen. They have purses. They have cashmere sweaters. They have literally everything. Such great quality. I have clothes from them. I have a bag from them. I have now also the suitcase from them. It is a great website. And if you use code group chat, no, I'm kidding. No, this is not an ad, but I highly recommend them. In case you got the same bag I did, with carry-on
coupon codes. Yeah. They don't even do coupon codes because I've heard ads on other podcasts and it's just like Quince. Like they don't have a coupon.
Yeah, it's
because I was listening for one.
It's so great. Like I highly recommend it. Again, like I've used my carry-on a few times now. Casey's used hers once. It's so great. Like, and it's a little bit larger than all your other carry-ons, but it still fits in the overhead bins. So I don't know. It's great.
Yeah.
But Casey,
now.
Yeah, you'll be on that website for hours. There's so much. I will say,
there's everything.
So you get there Thursday. You do a bunch of stuff on Thursday. Friday, you go out and meet some people.
Apple Watch bands for $30.
Yes. I'm waiting to. Yes, there's a nice.
They're leather.
Yeah. No, it's a great website. I got a cashmere sweater for like $40.
I love these sunglasses.
So I will say, I get a text from Casey. Okay.
Wait,
Go ahead.
No, don't. We're still on Thursday night when I go get my pizza at the pizza place that Mike Mitchell from Doughboys talks about. Pizzeria Regina.
Yeah. Yes.
And
yep.
And
that's so funny.
And I go there. I get in line. I have a little spot for myself because it's such a tiny restaurant that even on a Thursday night at 8:30 there's a line. But I get my little pizza, eat that. Then I take the train. I walk to the train. I take the train. I'm bopping all over. I am just queen of the train.
Queen of the city, honey.
Queen of the city. I take the train and I go to a dispensary and I get some little gummies, and then I walk back to the train and get on the train and go over to not the Golden Arches, but the Golden Chicken Tenders. I go to the Golden Raising Canes. It is just opened for their golden birthday. And
what was that?
I remember this. I saw this on the story.
What number is their golden birthday?
828. I guess so. They were turning 28.
They're 28 years old.
Yeah.
Raising Cane's is 28.
I guess so.
That's bonkers.
Old is Raising Cane's?
Well,
28.
He passed.
Well, wait.
Yeah, Raising Cane's passed.
You're gonna have to wait for the full deep dive when we finally do a cream puffs on Raising Cane's.
There are so many cream puffs episodes on our close friends. I was scrolling through the other day and it was like cream puffs, cream puffs, cream puffs. It's like, geez, these girlies love a cream puff.
We love a cream puff. But so I go to the Golden Raising Cane's because it's open till midnight. So, and I've already eaten a full 10-inch pizza at this point. So I order a piece of toast, some cane sauce, and a large diet soda.
That would be my order from Cane's. Love that.
Yeah. And it was like, I mean, it was just so funny. Like, Boston is so I guess just like everywhere I was, it was so many young people. Like, I was staying in Cambridge, so that's close to like it's close to Harvard, close to MIT, close to Harvard, close to the colleges. So it's very like I'm very by the colleges, but this wasn't really that close to the colleges. But I was talking to my friend Mel, and she said, "Oh yeah, it's kind of by a college." So I guess there's just a ton of colleges because everyone there was so young. But I will say the bathrooms were it was giving American Girl doll cafe in Dallas because the bathrooms were just black and white. Nothing, not a piece of gold. And I was like, this is sad.
The bit.
Yeah, you got to commit. Like, so that was that. I did go to a brewery a couple days later that had a place to hold your beer, and I was like, oh, this is like American Girl Cafe. But I loved the Raising Cane's. It was such a good gag.
Everything reminds me of her.
Everything reminds me of her. But yeah, so after that I just took an Uber home because I was staying in a weird spot that isn't close to the train. But you know, it was like a $10 Uber. It was so cheap. But so I get home, take a little gummy, go to bed. I wake up bright and early and I go to Harvard Square. My hotel has a shuttle that will take you for free to the Harvard Square. So that had been my way of like, I get to the Harvard Square, I can walk around, there's restaurants, there's stuff over there, and then I can take the train from that spot.
To wherever,
because like the only thing close to me was a bus. And it was fine, but the bus just takes longer and only comes certain times. So I go to Harvard Square, and then I'm like walking around Harvard, and I'm like, why the fuck am I walking around a college campus? Like I don't dread working on one every single day. and I'm just like looking at it. I'm like, wow, like it looks a lot nicer on Legally Blonde. Like there's so many trees and stuff, so it's very shaded. Like it's not like it's very shaded, which I guess is good. And they have these like ugly, bright colored chairs just throughout the lawn, throughout the greenery. So it doesn't make sense. It's like they stole chairs from like a dining hall and put them all in the lawn of of Harvard. And so I'm like, oh, this is ugly. But like everyone at Harvard was
very
basically
restaurantosaurus.
Yeah. Yeah. But everyone there was like a tourist. Like I saw so many people on like tours and just like and but it was cute, like seeing like you could see like parents were there like with their kid, and I was like, oh, this is sweet. And I like heard a couple people like in line. Yeah, and I like heard there was a girl like that had come up to visit a guy, and they were in line behind me at the coffee shop, and they were like talking about like what they were going to do this weekend. He was like, yeah, and we could go here. I've never tried this place because it's pretty still young. It's pretty early in the semester, so that's really sweet. I love being alone because you get to just like listen on everybody's conversations. But then I took the train to the ferry, and I got on the ferry and I went to Salem for the day. And the ferry was so nice. They were serving Shasta Cola at the snack bar. Wasn't a fan of that, but everyone was serving at this point like Oktoberfest beers. So I was like having a great time just like buying like Oktoberfest beers everywhere, pumpkin beers and stuff. Because I feel like in Austin we're still just like, summer. It's 97 degrees here. Yeah. But so it was like beautiful. It was sunny, like high of 80, but like being out on the water and like seeing the city and stuff. That was so cool. And then you get to Salem and you just like walk from although I realized there is a free trolley that takes you to the center town. And I said, why the fuck didn't I do that? I was like one of the first people off the ferry. So I'm starting my walk and I hear this guy behind me be like, free trolley into town. And I was like, oh, I should have turned around. But I walked, but I mean, it was like a 12-minute walk into town or something. Maybe it was 15. But it was really nice and peaceful. And then you get to town and it's so touristy. We're going to do like a whole like close friends on it. Cause I did go to like some places and had some experiences that Miranda, we will talk about on Close Friends.
Okay.
Experiences.
Interesting. Yeah.
So Close Friends. I mean, Close Friends. If you watch the stories, you already know at least how I ended the night with the text that I showed on Close Friends. But I had a great time in Salem. It was fun. I'll be back in June for a wedding because I had dinner. I had dinner with Joe's best friend.
I found out who's Natasha has a wedding in Salem. Oh,
Natasha, who?
Hello.
My Natasha.
Yes.
She has a wedding in Salem in October. The poor thing has to be there in
this October.
Next October, in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, October.
Do you want to talk about weddings that get planned very quickly?
What do you mean?
So my mom texted me.
Why are we glitching so much?
And she was like, well, no, a couple months ago, she was like, your cousin Karen is engaged.
Yes.
And I was like, great. Congrats to her. Karen is, is she younger than Leslie? Or she's like basically the same age as my next older sister, which is like 8 years older than me. So she's like around that. That's like kind of how old she is. She's been married before. She lives in I think she lives in Scottsdale or Chandler, something like that. She lives in Arizona.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago, Mom texts me and she goes, Karen is thinking of having her wedding sometime in late September or early October and wants to know if you would want to go because she needs like a figure of like how many to start thinking about. And I was like,
I need it to be narrowed down a little bit.
I was like, I need like a weekend. I need to know. I don't need maybe the specific day, right? But if you know, like a 4-week average is not helpful.
It's not. No.
So she was like, okay, I'll let her know. So then the next week, I get a text from my mother, and she says, it's November 11th. Girlies, go ahead and look at what day of the week November 11th is.
Are they veterans?
Also, that's the day you got engaged.
That's a Monday. That's a Monday.
It's a Monday.
It is our engagement day. You're
It
right,
is our engagement
Casey.
day.
Veterans Day,
11/11, make a wish.
Make a wish. Is that why?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
It's because she's planning her wedding in like 4 weeks. So I was like, okay. And she was like, but she wants to know as soon as possible because she needs like final numbers for the venue. And I was like, okay, understood, right? I understand you need that information for a venue. The problem is that you have decided to do this on a extremely fast-paced schedule, and like I need to like check with. So I was like, I don't know, Mom. And she was like, okay, I understand, like blah blah blah. She was like, my mom was like, I'm retired. I'm gonna go. I've already told her I'm gonna go. Your cousin who lives in like Fort Wayne, she might go with me, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. Then I separately text my sisters and I was like, so what's the tea? Because it's not going to be me and my mother. I will tell you that right now. And Diana was like, I can't go because we're going. They have like a family vacation like the following week, basically. So she was like, I'm not taking and it's a Monday. I'm not taking the kids out for that. Sorry. So I was like, okay. So then Leslie was like, well, we have a branch in Phoenix that I could like, or in Tucson, which is where the wedding is happening. So she was like, I can make it a work trip and have work pay for it. And I was like, okay, great. She was like, but I won't go if you won't go. I was like, okay. So then that was Monday. Tuesday, I get a text from Karen that was like, hey, Adam, here's the date. Let me know. And she texted me during our like team meeting, and so I just like forgot about. I like opened it up, read it, and forgot about it because I was like, I can't answer this right now. And then like promptly just forgot the text messages this at all. That evening, Mom texted me and she was like, "Hey, did Karen text you?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I texted Karen back, and she was like, "Yeah, I was worried I had the wrong number." And I was like, "No, sorry." I was like, "I can let you know by the end of the week, aka Friday." So then Wednesday passes, and then Thursday I was like, well, I'm not doing anything. Let me like really look at let me really look at what's going on. So I'm on Google Flights, and like the option is like fly into Phoenix, but then you have to rent a car and drive for 2 hours to Tucson. Or fly into Tucson, but Tucson is like $200 more.
Yeah.
Because it's like a smaller airport. And I was like, for like both of us, obviously. So I was like, so then I was like, well, let me find out what Mom's plans are. So I call Mom. This is all at work, by the way. I call Mom and I was like, hey, what are you flying? Have you got your tickets? And she was like, oh no, but I was gonna look this weekend. And I was like, well, I'm looking now, and I'm thinking like it's Mom was like, oh, there's a good Frontier. And I was like, no, I'm not doing Frontier. I was like, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
And you shouldn't either. You're retired. You do not need to be doing Frontier anymore.
So I was like, no, we're not doing Frontier. And she was like, why? And I was like, because we're just at a point where we don't have to, so we don't want to. And like, I'm not shaming anyone who does, but I was like, it's just something that I can choose to do without. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And she was like, well, what are you thinking? And so I was like, well, I'm looking at, there's a couple American flights that like are good times. And she was like, well, blah, 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 blah. So then but she clearly didn't want to pay. She didn't want to pay. She didn't want to pay extra. And so she was like, well, let me look around. So then she was like, I found a couple Southwest flights. Or maybe was it Southwest? I don't remember which ones it was. Or maybe it was Spirit or something. Because she had me look at both Midway and O'Hare since she was going to drive into Chicago to fly out. She was like, well, we can get on the same flight. So then she was like, oh, I know there's one. There's a couple good flights. I think it was through Spirit. So I was like, let me look just to appease you. So I looked. Every flight had a 14-hour layover. And I was like, What's going on?
You might as well just drive.
Frontier loves a 14-hour.
Frontier loves
layover.
it. They will fly you to Denver and you will wait like 3-4 hours.
Overnight.
Or overnight. Because there's either one flight that you transfer to Phoenix or you're waiting the next day.
So I was like, Mom, that's not happening. And I like sent her screen caps. And I was like, here are your options. And all of them had crazy layovers. And she was like, that's crazy. The problem is with Phoenix, it is it's like a 3.5 hour flight? 4?
Yeah, close to 4. Yeah.
4-hour flight. And the flights a lot of them end up being like 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into Chicago at like noon or whatever because you're jumping a couple time zones, or they're like super late at night.
Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to find something that wasn't that because I don't need to do that anymore.
For a wedding that gets put on in like
see, you are putting so much more effort into this than I would even bat an eye at. If somebody told me I have to know as soon as possible because I have to let our venue know, I say, okay, I don't have an answer for you right now, so count me out.
So I guess it's not.
I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Like I could not entertain. I admire what you're doing for your family and your mother. That could not be me.
So we finally found a united set of flights that worked.
And we are a united family now.
And we're a united family. We have a united credit card. So we could pay for like the economy fare, but we get bags for free because we use the credit card. So that worked out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then RJ's family obviously lives in Phoenix. So we're going to fly into Phoenix, and then they're going to give us a car to use for the weekend, which is very nice.
I didn't even ask. I was like, yes, we just will. What are they're literally not doing anything.
Okay, well, I would like it if you would just double check.
Just secure
just for my peace of mind. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Let's call Joy up.
You don't even have to ask. Just send the text to let her know. That's fine.
Oh, she knows though. Yeah. She knows we're coming. She knows we're doing that wedding.
I guess it's nice that the wedding's there, so then you can also just double up and make it a visit RJ's family.
So then we found a flight that like the big consternation was like, if we're flying out of Phoenix, we don't want to take a flight that's like 6 a.m. because it's a 2-hour drive from Tucson to Phoenix. So we'd have to get to the airport at 4, which means we'd have to leave at 2. So like, what's even the point of staying the night? Just at that point, the night, because we're leaving like the Tuesday after.
Sure.
So it was like, should we just drive after the wedding? But again, we don't know the time of the wedding. So I was like, well, I don't want to like leave a wedding at like 7 p.m. if the wedding had started at 6 o'clock or whatever. But if the wedding's at 1 and it's more of like an afternoon wedding, then that's fine. We've been there for 6 hours. Like, that's conceivable. But again, we had no idea what times were. So I was like, this is so anyway, it worked out. It's fine. This really should have been my go off, to be quite honest. But we'll just say it was. It's fine. We're going. It's booked. It's fine.
You booked.
It's booked. My sister's coming.
Amazing.
Leslie was like, I'll go. Great.
Well, there you go.
It's a quick 3-day trip, Saturday to Tuesday.
We love a long weekend.
I guess that's 4 days.
Love a long weekend.
But like, why are we booking a wedding like 6 weeks before the wedding?
But if you're gonna do that and like have a smaller wedding, that's totally fine. But if you're inviting like extended family and like demanding answers from them, maybe let's give it a few more weeks to cushion. You know what I mean?
But also like, you don't need a definitive number until like 30 days before your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which
I understand you want to know like a general idea, but like get a venue that has you pick a number and then find the venue and then go from there.
Right. Like your yes or no is not going to make or break her venue.
Yeah.
Correct.
31 to 34.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
Anyway, it's ironic because her mother was the problem for our wedding, who kept being like, I'm not going to go. Actually, I can go. Actually, I can't go. Actually, I can go. And then like after we'd already given our final number, she was like, I'm coming. And so I called Karen, who was this Karen that I'm talking about, who was supposed to bring her boyfriend at the time because she got a +1 out of it. And I was like, you're bringing your mother because I have no seats for her. So you have to tell your boyfriend he cannot come and you are bringing your mother. And she was like, okay, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's fine, but that's what has to happen.
Yeah. There you go. You tell him.
Anyway.
If and when I get married again, I will be so selective of who is on that damn wedding list because I just look back. I mean, like at my first wedding, it was in my
Your only wedding.
Yeah, my only other wedding. Yeah, it was in my aunt's backyard, and so we had a general number, but it wasn't life or death. I just told the man who was cooking the barbecue, yeah, do this much.
It wasn't life. Put these much patties on.
Yeah, get this much
Make
brisket.
this many pounds of brisket.
Yeah. Because that's what it was. I paid $500 to feed everyone. To feed like 100 people.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Well, maybe that's why it didn't last.
That's how much it would cost the four of us to go out to a really nice dinner.
That's literally how much it cost when we went to Restoration Hardware.
Oh, that is also true. Restoration Hardware. Restoration Hardware Club 33
cookies at the end of the meal.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, so back to my damn trip. Let me just wrap it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Oh, no. But yeah, I had a great time in Salem. I'm going to do a whole episode on it. Talk about, it'll be for October. All the spooky stuff there. Because I went into it not really knowing much about Salem. So I did learn some things and met some interesting folk. But then I got back late on Friday night. So Saturday I got up and I went back to Harvard Square. And then took the train, and then I met up with a internet friend, someone that I listened to podcasts. We were Podcast the Ride friends. And so then we became Instagram friends, and so we've known each other several years. And she lives in Quincy, which is Mike Mitchell's hometown. So she picked me up from
Quince. Sorry.
Dumb.
She picked me up from the train, and she took me on a tour of Quincy, and showed me Mike Mitchell's high school and the McDonald's he would go to across the street. We went to the first Dunkin', and I tried the new dunkalatte, and that's apparently a big deal because it's got coffee milk, and that's a big thing from Rhode Island. So it's basically
I don't even
milk.
Honestly, you might as well be speaking Arabic. I have no idea. You've fully lost me. What is dunkalatte? Is it not just Dunkin's latte?
I mean, yeah, that's basically what it is, but they use this coffee milk that's a special thing from Rhode Island. Like
Rhode Island coffee syrup.
Yeah, if you it's a thing.
Yes, I understand. You do keep saying that. I'm curious what that thing actually is.
This is us trying to describe what honey smells like on our close friends that we just recorded.
Yes.
Adam doesn't know what honey smells like.
Coffee milk. What's coffee milk? Duncan is aware of the concept of
It's been the state drink of Rhode Island since
Rhode
93.
Mm-hmm.
It's something akin to chocolate milk. It's milk.
Yes.
It's made with milk with either coffee syrup or coffee extract.
I guess I don't know what coffee syrup is.
I think
it's just flavored?
A created thing.
It's just a flavored. Flavor for the coffee.
So does there also espresso in it, or is it just a glass of milk that tastes like coffee?
I mean, it's espresso.
It looks like a latte, but it's created with this coffee syrup and milk, as opposed to a latte.
Yes,
which is made.
What is confusing, girly? A latte is you put a syrup. I guess put a shot of espresso.
I guess
the
Sorry, maybe I should be clear. The confusing part is that what's the difference?
That is the difference.
A latte is going to taste like coffee and milk.
So a dunkalatte, a dunkalatte sips like a latte and tastes like a melty milkshake. And
I don't know
if get it iced or hot. I think you would love it, Adam.
I'm sure I would love it. My problem is that there's no good explanation of what the difference is between something that is a coffee drink, a milk drink that tastes like coffee, and this thing, which is a milk drink that tastes like you're explaining the same thing.
Well,
it's the same idea.
I mean, that's the gag.
That's the gag.
It's Dunkin', girl.
It's Dunkin'. Dunkalatte. It's a great.
Dunkalatte.
Don't be on Dunkin's side. How dare you?
Well, and the funny thing is, so I will say, like, in Boston, I felt safer walking around everywhere than I do in Austin. It was a great city. I like in Austin, like literally like any intersection has like people panhandling, and I didn't notice that in Boston really. Like I saw like one panhandler and that was it, like on a like corner. I thought that was very interesting. But then we go to Quincy and I say to Mel, I say, what are all those people standing over there? Because like I see people standing in a parking lot in Texas and I'm like, oh, they're by a Home Depot. They're like day laborers, like they're looking for work.
Oh, sure.
But in Quincy, it's just a bunch of white people. And I'm like, what are those people standing over there? And they have like stuff, but they don't look homeless. And she goes, oh, I think they're just like tweakers. She's like, they just like hang out there. I was like, oh okay.
Great.
Well, so you got to find community wherever you
can.
Wherever you go, yeah.
I have great news. It appears all Chicago Dunkins have this Dunkalatte.
Well,
and they also have a spiked pumpkin spice latte that you can get.
Oh. Well, close friends, maybe we'll give her a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone get this man a Dunkalatte. Stat. But I loved Quincy. We went to a brewery on the water, and like it was so nice. Like just New England is just so nice. Like,
New England in the fall is on another level. It's so good. I love it so much. Truly.
Yeah, and I got to see my old friend Jenny. I met Jenny back. Actually, I met Jenny back in 2012, but on the day that I saw her this past weekend, I got a Facebook memory from 11 years ago when I saw her on that same day. And so that was very sweet to have that moment. But it was just so good. I met some other internet people. I met the failed Imagineer guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a cool artist.
He's like
he's
cool
an artist.
Instagram
yeah, he does. Guy. His brand is called Failed Imagineer. And so like it's just like kind of like punk rock, like Disney stickers and stuff. He does like kind of weird stuff sometimes. And he was so nice. He's just like a dad. And then the guy next to him was another guy that I follow. They became friends because I think of Disney too. And they had this like punk rock flea market. So me and Jenny went out there because it was in Jenny's college hometown, like her college town that she went to. She's like, oh yeah, I know that place. And she's like, it's less stressful than driving around the city because it's like, I know this area. So we went to her college town and went to that and had dinner. And then I came home and I went to a tiki bar in Boston or in Cambridge. And it was really nice. And then I got a Mike's pastry, a cannoli. Apparently this is what the tourists get, but it was good. It was a good cannoli. It made it through TSA just fine.
You had to Google.
I had to Google it, and they did.
Did you
they
think
said
it was
as long
was
as
it too much of a liquid?
They said as long as it's if it's filled in a shell, it's fine. You can't bring a bag of the cannoli cream, but as long as it's in a shell, it's fine.
I swear to God, half the TSA rules are just made up. Like they're just silly jokes.
Yeah,
and it's just like, and it's so funny because they literally have like, if you look like, is this allowed on TSA? And there's like an answer for like everything. It feels like
everyone's tried it once,
but that doesn't necessarily mean that the actual TSA follows the rule, because technically, as we talked, I don't know if we did actually talk about it, but before we went on our trip, I was like, where did we go? What was our trip recently? I don't remember.
LA.
And I was like, are we allowed to bring? Do you still have to put things in a Ziploc?
In a zippy.
And both of you were like, no. And Freelak was like, 100% you have to. And I was like, oh God. So I didn't pack it, but I did pack a Ziploc just in case they made me put it all in a Ziploc. And then they didn't open it at all. They didn't care.
As someone with experience in that, they have a 1 quart Ziploc. So if they all of a sudden decide that you have too much stuff, the biggest fucking asshole on TSA will take out all of your shit and shove it into this 1 quart Ziploc and decide what to throw away. That was at the God, what's that town called in the Panhandle?
Tallahassee.
Destin.
Destin, Florida.
And no, that checks. They looked at me and they said, "Liberal woman, no children. Check her. Put
it in the bag.
Check her
childless cat lady.
Put her liquids in the quart size bag."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, that was the only time that's ever happened. But yeah, no, never in a Ziploc.
I will say, Starburst gummies.
They slay.
Are the same size as Camino THC gummies.
Oh my God.
Did you accidentally eat an entire bag?
I see what she bought a bag.
Oh, I thought you went to eat some Starburst gummies and accidentally.
I would die. I would literally die because one little thing is like 5 milligrams.
Ooh.
And that is like, I'm good. I'm like zonked out. I couldn't imagine because the Starburst gummies have like an S like raised on it, so you can like the difference. But they look great in an X-ray. In that bag.
They look so great in an X-ray.
Mm-hmm. And I got home and I separated them all again.
Yeah, you're like, do.
Did I already talk about when I drank a wink?
I think yes.
Yes, you did.
I swear to God, I can't.
And you thought people were talking to you, and they
to
weren't.
me the entire. And I literally was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm not in your conversation.
You also chugged it on the beach, and it was 95 degrees.
Yeah, you're supposed to like do a sippy. It's just I always be like, well, if I can't do like alcohol that much anymore, then maybe I should do CBD drinks.
Well, you can do alcohol. You just can't do. You can't do beer.
I know.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we had a fundraiser yesterday, and I came home with like 30 cans of Revolution like hazy IPA. So it's gonna be handing those out.
I was gonna say, anytime you go somewhere, just like be like, here, I brought you a little 6-pack.
Hey guys, I brought something. Yeah, I might just give.
I bought you a loose 6-pack. Yeah. Here's just 6 cans.
It's like Trader Joe's. You go and pick a 6-pack.
Pick a 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give them to your neighbors or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave them
like, hey, you like. Find some. I was like, you need to find some bros in your neighborhood. But
unfortunately, we live in the.
You live in the gayborhood.
We live in the gayborhood. The most same-sex couples, right? In a neighborhood or something like that in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Per census.
Yeah. All of them are white men and their Asian partner.
Yeah.
Oh.
We fit right in.
We fit right in. Adam literally was like,
we were walking down the street when it was like a festival, and I was like, oh. A very.
Are we in the movie Us?
Are these our
tethers? These are my tethers. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Adam was like, is it just because we came back from Asia? But I feel like there's so many Asian guys in our neighborhood. And I was like, yeah, because they're all taken.
Yeah.
It reminded me actually of what it must be like for like Miranda to walk around in the world and see herself everywhere she looks. That's all.
Yep.
I
don't quite
Casey, was that it on your trip?
I don't quite understand, but yeah.
Okay.
That was it. And everyone's like, oh, you had such a fun trip. And yeah, I gotta say it. I love a solo trip, but where I do meet up with people randomly because because then I just yap because I haven't talked to anyone all day.
Oh yes, that's literally me when Adam comes home. If I if I had not had any meetings all day, Adam comes home and I was like, "Hey, what do you want for dinner?"
He like lays on me on the couch.
So this thing happened to me when I was walking Friedrich earlier.
Yeah. Where would be your solo trip? Like if you got to do another, and for for the class, if you got to do like a 3-day solo trip anywhere right now this weekend,
Philadelphia.
Oh,
I love Philadelphia.
I would do Philadelphia just to see my niece, but that wouldn't be somewhere I would pick normally. But I would probably do like I kind of want to do something like I kind of want to do like a Utah, like go see the Mormons,
Or I'd do Seattle. That's the other option.
The hot Mormons.
Oh, a Portland or Seattle, maybe. But I feel like I would be kind of nervous to do those solo. I kind of would want to do those with someone. I don't know why. Something about the Pacific Northwest. I don't know about it.
Toronto. Went to Utah for a football game.
Oh.
And I was like, ugh.
Mary Kate was just in Utah.
Mexico City.
Oh, is that where you would go solo?
Yeah.
Really?
Largest city in the Western Hemisphere. Baby.
Baby.
Yeah. One of my improv troupe mates, he went to Mexico City recently and he had a great time, he said.
I think in my immediate just weekend solo trip would just be New York. But I don't know if that's because I've gone there. I'm trying to think of a place I've never gone that I would do a solo trip.
Yeah, I was trying to think of places
like a Casey solo trip.
Yeah,
where it's it'll be your first time, but then you.
But I think I could do it the way I want to do it,
and you could meet up with people.
Yeah. I was also looking at Charleston at one point just because I was like,
then Casey, I would have to come with you. I want to go to Charleston.
Yeah, but it was a solo trip.
Yeah, so you're not invited.
You understand?
Actually, it's a solo trip, so maybe next time. But I'm gonna go by myself. Okay.
I would.
I want to see Charleston.
I would do Vancouver.
Yeah.
You'd
really like Vancouver,
or even Toronto.
I'd go to Toronto. I've never been.
Or even Denver. I've never really actually explored Denver. I've just been in the airport.
Or New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans either.
I've never been in New Orleans either.
But I don't think that's a city you should do alone.
No, I think you need buddies. You have to. I think it could get a little bit. I would say Denver would be a good one for me because I know people who live there. So it could be very well be
me and Freelak saw a documentary this weekend that makes us want to go to Denver. The Casa Bonita Mi Amor documentary, where they talk about or the South Park guys buy this.
Oh yes, the South Park,
the old restaurant in Denver, and y'all, it looks amazing, incredible.
I was before it was bought. It was bought out. I went.
Oh really?
You went to Casa Bonita?
Yeah, before the old version.
No, but I know. Well, I know that, but tell me more.
It was the food was actively bad.
Yeah.
So what made you go there? What's the?
You were there for was it the wedding? You were there for a wedding? No.
I actually think it was Karen's first wedding. Actually, is when we went.
Oh, okay. Circle. Look at this.
Yeah. But that family, they are from Denver, and so we went there. We went to Denver a lot, growing up, just to visit. But one of the trips when I think I was in high school, so maybe it was before Karen's wedding. We went to Casa Bonita because they were like, "Oh, you gotta!" It's a really classic Denver thing, blah blah blah. And I mean, we saw the cliff divers. I didn't explore the restaurant as much as I realized you could once I listened to the Podcast The Right episode. We kind of just stayed at our table and watched the show, and the show was really fun. I was still at a good age, I think, to not be cynical about it. So I was like, oh, this is really funny.
3?
Huh?
RJ heard me.
3 years old?
3 years old? Before you were cynical?
Oh yeah.
Then you turn
Well, that's the big
quarantine
thing.
a
Yeah,
little bit.
I'm the biggest cynic on the spot for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really fun. The food,
Mhm.
I genuinely though, it's one of sometimes food is so bad you actually remember how bad it is,
And
and
it
that's how
was-
bad that food was. Is that
wow.
I
Yeah.
remember that it was like god awful.
Yikes.
It reminds me of didn't we go in Orlando? Didn't we go to like a mafia theater show
Yes,
thing?
Corleone's, I
Yes,
think, or
that's
something.
what it reminded me of. That food was also the
Yes.
most
Oh.
overboiled pasta I've ever had like in my life.
Wow.
And that's on 192, isn't
That's
it?
on 192,
Yes.
honey.
I think it's
Wow.
closed now, but I think it closed
Yeah.
during pandemic.
Probably for the
Thank
best.
God.
Probably for the
Um,
best. Because we knew someone
yeah,
in it. Isn't that why we went?
You had a coworker.
Yeah.
At one of those shows, I knew someone.
Miranda, that could have been our life. We could have
Yeah.
been doing
Dinner
dinner
theater.
theater in
Oh,
Orlando.
Dinner
honestly,
theater on
on
honestly,
192.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what Adam
You
and I
would
would be
own
really
your
good at.
own dinner theater.
We would be
doing your own shows.
Yes. Yep. Like what I did after college, but just the two of us.
At
And
a dinner theater.
But we would
At a
also
dinner
manage
theater?
it. Like I would
Yes.
manage all the the like administrative aspects of it all, and you would be like, "Is the food good?"
And RJ would produce the show. Like he
Yeah,
would
yeah.
help us do marketing and all
Casey,
that.
you could come.
And Casey.
Yeah, Casey.
Casey's
Yeah, I
doing
could do-
merch.
I could
What are
do
you
social
talking
media.
about?
Casey's
Yeah.
merch.
Casey's merch.
Casey's
like
improv.
Oh.
She's improving her way
Improv.
through the show.
yes, she's
Yes.
the opening
It's
act.
Stop.
Yeah. And now comes our time for the improv segment of the show. And we're bringing up our
Mhm.
special guest, Bass.
Yes.
Face.
Here's
Bass.
Bass.
Yeah, missed our calling.
We really did.
Well, when you retire, when you open that
When
dinner
we
theater in Hong
retire
Kong,
in Hong
In the
Kong.
Hong Kong.
And listeners, it's out now. Listen to the Shanghai Hong
Yes,
Kong
the China
Close
parts.
Friends episode for the China
I'm so
Disney
excited
park.
to listen.
They're out. It's out now.
Casey's
I-
never gonna hear a single word of that episode.
No, of both of them, I think the most tea is clearly in the
Oh,
China.
Oh, you
Just
gotta
listen
listen
for
to
the
the first 15 minutes. That's what you gotta listen to.
You
Yeah.
gotta listen.
Oh.
Everyone's gonna do a test run of the Close
Everyone
Friends
has
for a
to-
month just
yes.
to listen to it.
And they
Go
have to
ahead.
sign a waiver.
And you do have to sign a waiver.
We
And
don't
I
have
Non-disclosure.
we don't have
Yeah.
on the free 7-day trial, do we?
No, I don't think so. we
Okay,
can
good.
turn that on, but no.
No,
Not
we're
now.
not.
RJ,
No, we're
RJ, you know what you can also do, RJ, is you can remove the 5-minute
Oh, the
the
5-minute
5-minute
preview.
preview.
Yep, let's do that.
Let's
Please
let's
do
Or you
that
can, I
because
think you can set it though for later if you wanted to set it.
yeah,
later
you
in
can
the
change
episode.
the time,
The
so
time
it'll
duration.
stop immediately. Adam.
because I had to go and remove that from another episode
yes.
from a
Oh,
long from
yeah.
Yes.
What we're
year
saying
ago.
is, if you're not on Close Friends,
You-
know
You're missing
nothing.
out.
you're only getting
Yeah.
half the story.
You're only getting
You're only
half
getting half the story, but
story.
like in a real way, not in the current Drag
No,
Race
like-
way where no one cares because
There's
I'm
No,
so
not doing
much
good
tea.
anymore.
Which
There's so
There's
Drag
much
so much
Drag
tea.
Race, you know, Drag Race has gone down whenever
Drag-
the Emmy
Drag
said,
Race.
you
Drag
know
Race.
what?
Emmy said
We're-
no longer. You've won this Emmy
said,
from
"We
what,
want traitors."
2012 to 2023?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Tweetos.
Learn a
is
lesson
the
from the
reality
Amazing
show.
Race and know when your time is up.
Yep. I'm sitting here folding my damn laundry.
You know?
Well, let's go off.
yeah, let's go
Yeah.
off.
No.
I already did mine.
Adam
Yeah, Adam
did
already
his.
went off.
I was inspired.
Oh.
The spirit overtook me.
I've got one.
Okay,
Okay,
Casey.
Casey.
Let's go
This
off.
is really niche.
Oh,
Okay, to my apartment complex. Why the fuck are you sending us these emails saying that we can't prop a door open? And if you catch us propping a door open, you're going to write us up. Write me up for what?
To
For
who?
putting up- to who? Yeah, to my like
The
is
principal?
the principal? Like, hello? Like it's so stupid because for one, I don't think that our stairwells need doors because they're open air stairwells. So I don't know. We don't just have an opening to the stairwell because people get confused and they don't know where the damn stairs are to go upstairs sometimes. But anyways, so for a long
So
time
it's like
we've been,
the common door into the stairwell is what they're saying, not to prop.
Yes. Like
What if
you
you're
like as
moving?
you're walking into the building,
Yeah.
there's the first floor, but then there's a random door that doesn't say stairs on it. It's just a random door that you have to open to go upstairs. But when you get into the stairwell, it's all open air. Like, you know, like you like it's not like it's insulated or anything. It's not safe by any means. It's covered, but it's still like
it's not safe by any means.
Well, I'm thinking like if like, you know,
Yeah,
an
there's a
inner
fire.
like tornado or something,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you get
Sure.
get in there or something, you can close it up or something. You can't. Because it's just open. But anyways, so for a year we had no issues keeping that door open with a little rock. And because when you have groceries, it's real hard to open that damn door and then get your groceries up there. It's so annoying. But in the past month, I have been on like a rock like war with someone because they kept closing it and I kept bringing another rock and opening it back up. And then we got this message with, you know, community rules, and one of them was that it's like breaking fire code or something to have that
No, it's
door
not.
propped open. I'm like,
No.
okay, shut up.
No.
But
Like-
do you prop it just when there's like you're just coming in and out, or do you just like
Is it
and now it's
permanent?
propped forever?
It's propped forever, but let me show
Okay,
you.
well, then I'm
just,
back
like,
on
how-
I'm back on the apartment side.
Yeah. Because it's propped forever, because when you're coming and going, you don't want to have to open up the door. So it's only open like this much. Like it's literally like the rock only holds like this much open, so you can kind of like get your elbow and open it up the rest of the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I understand what a prop door is. Yeah, you don't have to explain it.
But I think we should be able to keep it propped open because I have groceries. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
I feel your plight.
Yeah.
Oh,
As someone who
You
has
can
been
go back to folding your
Yes,
laundry.
yes. As someone who has been locked out of our door because I'm
Mhm.
walking out as soon as it's shutting, I'm like, oh, I didn't
it's
grab my
always
keys.
it's always when
Yeah.
always that moment.
Oh, I get
Love
it, I
the
get it.
drama. Love the suspense.
We have
Also, the DoubleTree needs better cookies. If
our
you're gonna have
door
fresh
into-
cookies, have the good cookie.
I'm eating up the Costco mini cookies. The like
50
Costco
pack?
not in the like paper
In the
bag.
tub.
In the tub because they're
In the
softer.
tub. Yeah.
The bag is like crispy, but the tub is nice and chewy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the right amount. Like I don't need
it's
a
just
full
yes,
sweet. I just need a little chocolate.
Yes.
You know.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Oof. So
Yeah.
good. I can go real quick.
Go ahead, RJ. Go off.
Okay. You know, as I am a producer of sorts, right? I'm a busybody.
Can we
and,
wait, pause? This is how RJ starts all of
I
his
know,
go offs.
I
He goes,
know.
you
guys know, right?
Here's the thing.
I am.
You know about me. And sometimes it's hard to delegate work, and I understand that. And sometimes that's it's hard for me to give that up. But it's never really like I don't do it maliciously. It's not like a control thing. Sometimes it's just
I know
easier
you're
to
gonna
do
say
things because I just know how to do it, and it'll just be faster if I do it. But sometimes when you're like doing multiple things, you really can't. So then it's like, why don't I just delegate this one thing that, is more of like a fun task to someone, to a group of people. Now, not to discredit these amazing volunteers that I work with in the many organizations that I work with, to fundraise for charitable acts and whatever. And
to foster community.
Uh-huh. And since they're there, I'm like, why don't you put up the photo booth? Why don't you put up the photo booth?
That'll be fun.
That'll
That
be
is a
fun.
fun
Selfie
task.
station, amazing. It's
Which includes what?
a step and repeat. So like a
Okay.
like a background.
Uh-huh.
I go, and this is at a theater. Okay. A beautiful theater, Miranda.
Opened this
So
year.
just open
mere
this year.
months
Ooh.
ago.
Imagine like
Ooh.
a dumb pack, and you're like, hey, volunteers,
I was
put up
like,
a
what are
selfie
you talking
station.
about? DMPA. Got it. The Civic Center.
Yes, I set up the show, blah, 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 blah. We do the first act, whatever, blah, blah. And so we're doing a little intermission. It was a cabaret, so it was like in the lobby just for fun. And they're like, hey, let's take a selfie together. We go and take a selfie. And this.
Oh, do you have a picture?
This step and repeat is duct taped to the wall.
You mean the cloth?
The cloth is duct taped to the wall. And I said, I better hope and pray that when I tell these people to peel that off, nothing will happen. To the point where a donor of this a board member, actually the husband of a board member, was like, hey, I noticed that the photo booth is duct taped to the wall, and I think that latex paint is probably not going to survive that. And I was like, oh no, I know. We'll figure it out at the end. They try to start taking it off. And it is peeling off this paint. And they were like, yeah, we tried the painter's tape, but it wouldn't hold up. So we found this duct tape in the theater. So just a lesson, I think if other people were like there, then maybe like a call wasn't made, but that's fine. Things happen.
What happened to the bones of the step and repeat?
Yeah.
Where did
the thing. It was, they just had the screen. They just had the printout.
Oh, they didn't have
like a frame. They decided after this incident, they were like, I think for next year, let's buy a frame.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Especially because it's probably heavier if it was like something printed. It wasn't like a plastic.
If it was paper, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, and our dear friend from college is the owner of the theater, Miranda.
Oh.
So I had to. And he was working hard that night. So I was like, hey, Matt, can I talk to you about something? And he was very sweet. He was like, it's okay, we'll get an estimate out of it. And you know what? That's what your deposit was for anyway. So
exactly.
We'll just pull it out of that. And I don't think it's going to be that bad. But it was just funny because when we were there for the workshop, he was like, he was more anal about it inside the black box because you have to paint it all.
Yeah.
If it's a black box, because right. It'll look, you'll see the patches.
Yeah.
But this was just out in the lobby, so it was fine. But it was like, oh god. So just a little bit of volunteer management. Sometimes people don't think that's people might think it's easy. I'm sure, Miranda, you understand, but sometimes you do have to
unfortunately. And it's like they mean so well.
Yeah, of course. They don't.
It's all that. Yeah, and you're like, oh, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna fix this real quick.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
man.
Oh, let's use our little brains next time. Next time we decide to attach something to a wall.
Would your landlord say yes? That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah. Or would they write you up?
Or would they write you up for propping the door open?
And they will write you up to the principal's office.
Mm-hmm.
Miranda, do you have anything?
Randy.
Yeah, I have something.
Go off.
Something I have never been able to understand, and thankfully a majority of the people in my life do not do this. So maybe people in your lives do, and you can help me understand their thought process. But I do not get people whose choice communication is FaceTime.
Oh.
Like, why is it that so many people, when they call one another, it's typically younger, but sometimes the millennial community, when they call people, they FaceTime them in the airport, walking down the street,
public
store,
FaceTime.
Picking out beef jerky at the Quick Trip. Saw it last week.
Why is that? And is it naturally beautiful people who decide to FaceTime?
It's not.
The one time I received a FaceTime call from somebody, which made me want to die right then and there.
My skin.
I had COVID for the first time. This person also had COVID, knew I had COVID, and FaceTimed me. And I was I am in bed.
Why was Jace FaceTiming you?
Jace has famously never had COVID.
I know.
To this day.
I'm jealous.
I just like don't understand why that's, and like I just finished watching Emily in Paris, which we should have talked about as well. But Casey
she's coming back.
It yet.
Season 5, Miranda. She's coming back.
Emily in Rome will be coming back. But like they show her at an airport lounge FaceTiming her 60-year-old boss. And I was like, this is not normal. Why are
headphones
we FaceTiming? I think just out. Like I don't recall shit. But like
we have to, as a culture, people need to be having headphones. We cannot. I'm about to ban. I am voting for whoever
the iPhone is
going
already
to
like
ban
over $1,000. Just add the
give us free the
AirPods with them.
And it's like FaceTime is reserved for like if you are at a store. It is like for the significant other who is shopping. Yes, is this
beef jerky?
Yeah. Or like FaceTiming your children or your pet when you're away. Things like that.
Or FaceTiming someone during Happily Ever After and keeping that up.
And the iPad just straight up the whole time. It is just like a phenomenon I will never understand. It is never if I ever FaceTimed any of you, like something's happening to me.
Look at my house on fire.
Yes. Look at this. Like that, and that's why I'm grateful.
I bought the Martha May Huvier light gun.
And like that's why I'm grateful people in my life don't typically FaceTime, because when I do receive a FaceTime call, I'm like, oh, I have to answer this. You know what I mean? So
Pepper, no. Pepper, no.
Pepper has every conversation on speaker. Pepper.
Pepper and no.
Pepper and no. In your own home, that's fine. I do that when I'm like, yeah. But no, not in.
It's
not
so
in
funny.
person.
Yeah. When I see someone's FaceTiming me, I'm like, I will.
I'm like,
if I really have to answer, it's gotta be literally facing the ceiling.
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes. What do you need?
What is it?
I will go off actually today because this reminds me of something.
Okay, Adam.
Okay.
If you are in like an open working environment. And you sometimes you're like, can we keep it down, please? I'm trying to work. But then other days you're like just as loud as the girls and you're asking them to turn up the music. You don't get to be both. Yeah. I'm sorry. You have to pick one personality in the workplace. If you want to be the hard ass who's like, you can't talk, you can't have a conversation, you shush people in a place of work. You can't be the girl 2 days later who's like, yes, girl, I was out at the club, blah, blah, blah. Like, we can't. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have your cake and eat it too.
That's just like showing that people like they are the main character of their own.
They are the main
no
character
one else
of their life.
Exists in their lives.
Everyone else is an NPC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
me and someone were literally having a conversation, not loud, just a regular conversation where she had just visited Walt Disney World for the first time. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I worked there for 7 years. And she was like, oh, really? Blah, blah, blah. She went to 3 of the 4 parks. She had gone to Universal. So she was like, we were chatting about it. I was asking what she liked. And a couple minutes in, from like 2 rows of cubicles over, I hear,
it's not even in the same row.
No, I hear, shh. And I was like,
the way I don't even know what I would be afraid of what I would do.
They would have to tell me to take a leave of absence from this office.
It would be giving Ross like, I took some time off from work.
Sabbatical, bitch.
I one time there was one other time that I got told to be quiet it was like we were finishing up our team meeting and like 2 people were having a conversation and then the rest of us were like chit-chatting or whatever. and they felt like we were being too loud, even though it's a small room, whatever, it's fine.
It's a team meeting and it's a
And
office.
it's over, and yeah. So they were like shushed us, and there's something, and I get, maybe it's because I was a loud kid, so I revert back to like feeling like I'm in trouble for talking.
Yes.
And so
you're getting written up.
I got so mad that I was like, I have to go. And I like walked out of the office and like walked around the block for like 5 minutes because I was like, I can't do this. I cannot be told to be quiet. I am 32.
That's the proper reaction.
I'm 32.
Put on a pair of headphones.
Put on headphones.
Because that happens at like whenever once a month when I go to the office. It happens all the time.
You know what, RJ? That's not funny. That's not funny, okay?
That's a sensitive subject around these parts.
It is.
Yeah. Casey and I are essential.
Shut up, RJ.
Casey has recently become an essential worker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
No, would you rather them shh, or would you rather them take their hands and be like,
I would rather them put on a pair of headphones and stop.
If my option is
not
those
a library.
Two, if my option is those two, I would rather the hands. Because at least I feel like you could deliver that a little funny. There is no world in which you can make shush funny.
No,
you cannot make that. You
it's
are
rude.
A school marm
It's
at
rude.
that point.
Shushing is rude.
You are a librarian.
Rude. Shushing tells me everything I need to know about you. Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, girls, hopefully none of you were shushers.
And if you are,
Pepper Ann, don't now tell us that you were a shusher.
Pepper Ann, be quiet.
Okay, before we head out, there's some comments that I wanted to read. This one is from our Close Friends episode. We did a Cream Puffs episode, Miranda's favorite episodes.
Which if you don't know if you're not a close friend and you don't know what a Cream Puff episode is, you're not alone. I just learned a couple weeks ago and they've been doing it for months.
It's RJ and Adam's single writer pod.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Get me the fuck out of here.
It's me and RJ and Casey go to a chain establishment.
Yes.
And
then they talk about
about it.
So we did
a food chain.
We did an Olive Garden episode. The Austin office was present, and Jessica said my go-to order is always the baked ziti with salad and breadsticks. I've never ordered anything else.
That's funny.
And Auburn said, not to be dramatic, but if I received a cooled off fettuccine Alfredo at a restaurant and I put it to my lips, it would ruin my week. Yeah. It just is not.
I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it touching my mouth and me going,
What is it about Italian food that when you take it home and then you reheat it the next day, the bottom of your dish is just a pool of oil?
Yes. Because it's fully separated.
I mean, because
you guys are talking me into Italian food. Stop.
Delish.
Yeah, because fettuccine, because Alfredo is just butter.
It's butter and olive.
Butter and cheese, like butter and Parmesan.
Yeah.
And some cream. So there's a lot of oil.
Yum.
Say less.
Literally, say so much less.
And then from our stream last week, Jessica said the Japan talk makes me so nostalgic when people ask me what my favorite part of the trip was. It was definitely the bullet train. Also, in my neck of the woods, the 7-Elevens already brought the new egg salad sandwiches. And I was so nostalgic, but it was okay. It does not compare at all.
Yeah, that's what I figured when they brought the egg salad sandwiches to the US, to California only, I think.
And then Jessica also said, Casey being mad at the Country Bears. I didn't ride any rides we have here except Space Tower and Haunted Mansion. I hope to be back in 3 years and do everything different. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
And don't forget, you can join Close Friends for those special Cream Puffs episodes. Ooh. And many, many more.
Including Miranda's entire Japan trip.
Yes, Japan-Asia trip.
Japan-Asia.
Disney portion. We talked about Japan on regular pod, but yes.
And then in the spooky seasons, we'll get some, it'll be Casey's time.
Mm-hmm.
She'll talk about her Salem trip, and she might even talk about her birthday spooktacular, too.
Birthday HHN Casey Way Spectacular.
Yeah.
And
Have you seen that clip of Howl Scream? There's an actor in SeaWorld's Howl Scream, and it's literally the actor just going like this.
She like stands, she's like behind a thing. She stands up and she goes, and then like sits back down. It's supposed to be her scaring, but like she's so clearly like, I'm just here to get a check.
And Adam was like, maybe we can do SeaWorld.
Maybe I could do Howl Scream.
You could.
Sure. Yeah, we'll also watch Agatha that comes out.
Yes.
So we'll do some Agatha recaps. On Close Friends. Dancing with the Stars starts this week, so I don't know if we'll do any Close Friends about Dancing with the Stars, or maybe I'll just mini recaps on here, jump probably.
Up. Yeah. Or on Insta.
And a quick final last thing, iOS 18.0 is out, and nobody even noticed today that I sent the first send later text to our group chat.
What time did it go?
I sent a I sent a text. Wait, I have to go back. What did I say? I just said, okay, let's see if this works. And then it sent. I watched it send in real time. And then I said, yo, it worked.
When
no one said anything. I'm curious if even people noticed. They didn't.
I saw that and I was like, what is he talking about?
Well, everybody ignored me when I talked about a group chat Christmas cruise.
Because RJ messaged me separately about it.
I found a very inexpensive 5-night sailing out of Galveston, Texas. Double occupancy for an inside stateroom is $2,000. For 5 nights, you stop in 2 places in Mexico, and it's also a very maritime cruise, which is their Christmas sailing.
Adam, it's Christmas
on the Disney Magic.
Miranda,
so it's small and comfy and cozy.
You have to convince Adam that he can be okay to be in the middle of the sea.
You can be okay to be
the vastness of the sea. Being alone in the middle of the vastness of the sea is terrifying.
If I can do it, you can. It's not a transatlantic. Like it's going to.
It's not the Titanic.
You're probably
just the Gulf.
You're probably going to be able to see land. You're going from Texas to Mexico, for God's sake. Like. I don't know. So I put it in the ear of the group chat today. If we can get us 4 on board, we may extend it to the group chat listeners.
And it becomes the group chat cruise.
Becomes the group chat cruise.
The group chat jingle cruise.
The checker cruise.
Honestly, like it would be so fun. And the magic is so small and so sweet. Like,
and it's the same time was our trip last year.
Yep, there's a December 1st through 6th.
How long are we gonna fucking talk tonight? I want to eat dinner.
God. Okay, go eat your Taco Bell. Go eat your Taco Bell.
Wow.
Oh my God, is that what you're eating?
Well,
I got home and RJ goes, I made porridge, and I was like,
porridge.
No. Okay, well, I'll be eating Taco Bell for dinner.
Goldilocks, we're getting Taco Bell. All right.
Okay, girlies, thank you for listening. And don't forget to read the group chat. Make sure to send those delayed sends, honey.
Send them. Upgrade and send.
Miranda's birthday message is already waiting.
At 12:01 a.m. It better. Oh my God, I will die. I will die.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Instagram at Did You Read the Pod and TikTok at Did You Read the Group Chat. You can also join the group chat on Facebook and the Discord server. Links on the episode details. The best way to support the show is by sharing the podcast to your friends and by leaving ratings and reviews. You can leave a 5-star rating on Spotify and a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll read them on the show. Our theme, KK Cruisin' Lo-Fi, is by Closed on Sunday. Find their music on Spotify and YouTube as Closed on Sunday. See you next time, besties, and don't forget to read the group chat.